Permission to come aboard?
Permission granted.
Great Lakes Now contributor Kathy Johnson brings us the story from Monroe, Michigan. This is the Tug America, built in 1897 by the Union Dry Dock Company in Buffalo, New York. At a time when wooden sailing ships still ruled the waterways, the 83-foot steel-hulled America was a marvel of innovation and the talk of the lakes. She's the oldest working tugboat on the Great Lakes, and today she operates out of the Port of Monroe on Michigan's Lake Erie shore, piloted by Captain Paul C. LaMarre III.
There is nothing like this in the world. She is the oldest commercially operating tugboat in the world today, and much of that is because of the fresh water on the Great Lakes. This is living history. With every turn of the propeller, the America goes one page further into the history books.
Assisting ships is the main task tugboats perform in the Great Lakes. Whether a vessel has run aground, is having engine trouble, has lost a bow thruster, or just wants a little help navigating a challenging passageway, they call for a tug.
When you need a tug, you really need one, and there's nothing else that will meet that need from a horsepower standpoint and a maneuverability standpoint.
Tugboats spend the majority of their time doing ship assist, helping larger vessels maneuver.
The tugboat is just a big locomotive in the water, literally a locomotive. It offers the most advantageous scenario for maneuvering a ship in close quarters.
To do that, they have to closely coordinate with the ship they're assisting. The tug captain will offer advice and local knowledge, but the ship captain is directing the operation.
The ship will tell you how you hook up, whether you're going to have a line off your stern or off your bow, and or what we call running free without a line. And the amount of pressure, the location of the pressure, is all dictated by the captain of the ship. It's a ballet, and you are operating the tug in partnership with the captain of the freighter, and you are carrying out their commands as to how to apply the tug. And that's something that the deck officers on freighters have to learn, is to how to properly utilize tug service.
And so is there like anywhere on the hull of a freighter that you can push against?
That depends as well. What's interesting is that the foreign flag vessels on the lakes, or the salties, you will notice spots on their hull that say tug. And it has an arrow, and one forward, one aft. And that's typically based on where there is strong framing within the vessel for pushing.
The America's engine can put out 1,250 horsepower. That's less than a tenth of the power of the Paul R. Tregurtha, currently the longest freighter on the lakes. But more than enough power to assist a large vessel by pushing against it or pulling it with a tow line.
In pushing, you typically are either holding a vessel up in current or pressing them into the dock. A tow line is typically used for what would be a longer maneuver when you're, say, pulling someone off a dock or taking them up the waterway and guiding them around the turns. You're there so that you can provide a little extra if a vessel in a turn starts to get behind on the turn, or they overcompensate and get too far ahead. The tug is really a tool in the toolkit of the master of the freighter. The most important part of tug handling is being in position at the appropriate time. Having a knowledge of the tow, the maneuverability of your vessel, having an expectation of where you should be to be most prepared for that next request from the vessel master.
But towing a huge freighter is a risky endeavor, and the fate of the tug and the crew are on the line.
You'll notice that fore and aft on every tugboat to this day, you have an axe, a fire axe, and that axe is for cutting the tow line, because when you do get into a precarious position towing, which can happen for any number of different reasons, you need the ability to separate from that vessel very quickly.
The America's diesel engine is the responsibility of Chief Engineer Jay Downing. He's been maintaining tugboat engines for 47 years.
What's your favorite part in this room?
Everything. And that is a 12-cylinder 567C locomotive diesel engine that runs into a fault reduction gear.
So when he said it was like a train, he's not joking. It's literally a locomotive engine. Like it's actually...
It's a marine application.
Okay. And what do they have to do to make it work for a marine versus a train?
Different kind of oil tank. So when it's rough weather, it holds the oil in the bottom of the sump so it doesn't, if it goes off to one side, the oil doesn't run over and loses suction. Here's what the inside of the cylinder looks like.
So
That's the top
pretty.
end.
Wow.
Those are your injectors hiding underneath here. All right. These are a two-stroke, so air in through the box, it does its thing. When she exhausts herself, she goes out the stacks.
Is it just me, or does this look really clean and shiny?
That's the way they're supposed to be. Let's say I blew a piston in here. I can literally take this whole assembly out.
Okay. Okay.
One at a time. There's
Just repair
12
it. And then,
assemblies.
okay.
The whole thing.
Huh.
You know, this is your fuel side. This is where your fuel comes in and out. That runs your injectors right here.
And all of that makes all this work.
Pretty much.
Basically. It turns the blade and makes her go.
Yeah, this supplies power to the reduction gear, which the reduction gear spins the wheel.
Captain LaMarre is a third-generation tugman. If you're interested in working on a tug, he can tell you what to expect.
Even before you start working on the deck underway, you learn how to chip paint. And after you're done chipping paint or doing any number of different odd jobs on the tugs, then you become a deckhand. You also have to be old enough. So when you become a deckhand, then you, of course, are learning from the more senior deckhands and able-bodied seamen as to what makes a tug run, and most importantly, safety. Safety in a towing environment, in an underway environment on these vessels, that's most important. If I were advising a young person, would be to obtain your merchant mariner's credential. Once you have that, it is the key to entry into a whole world that can start as a deckhand and end as you being captain of a 1,000-footer or a tugboat. And the other route, of course, is going to one of the state maritime academies, whether it's Great Lakes Maritime in Traverse City or California, Maine, Massachusetts, Kings Point, Texas A&M. That immediately launches you to the level of deck or engineering officer. And so you come out of college with a license that allows you to be an officer aboard a ship of unlimited tonnage.
Wherever you are in the Great Lakes, you're never too far from a tugboat.
We have an operations center in Cleveland that is manned 24/7, 365, and every customer, which is almost every fleet on the Great Lakes, has that number in the pilot house. And it is 4 hours notice to have a tugboat at any port on the Great Lakes at any time.
There are newer and more powerful tugs on the Great Lakes, but Captain LaMarre is happy on the America.
There is something about the old tugs that it's that bond between steel and spirit. It's the smell of stale coffee, cigarettes, paint, and diesel that is magical. If what we do with the America creates just a glimmer of interest from new generations or honors those that have already been part of it, then that's the most important job that this tug could have.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more about the working boats of the Great Lakes. And if you want to support our work, please make a donation at greatlakesnow.org. Thanks.